Hello everyone, my name is Rituro, but you can just call me Mr. Unemployable. We are back in Belfast in Northern Ireland for Glentoran FC's campaign continuing. We are currently in the top half of the table, 3 points clear of Dungannon Swifts and chasing the likes of Ballinamallard, Cliftonville, Crusaders, Linfield, and Ballymena. Actually, Cliftonville is just on an absolute tear. Every step we take, they match us. If we stumble, as we did, they just pull further and further ahead, which it's shocking how a good run will change your season. I mean, certainly, if you may recall, at the beginning of the season, I had this squad all the way near the relegation zone, but we've since pulled ourselves well clear of that point, picking up points when we needed to. And let's get right into that here. How has the squad been picking up these points? Well, it's been without Curtis Allen. He is returning to full fitness, thank goodness, but he did have an ankle injury which put him on the sidelines for this entire streak that I'm about to show you. So they've been doing it without Curtis Allen, which is incredible, proving that they still have some depth. People have been stepping up, which is lovely to see. Curtis Allen, a key piece of this squad. Wasn't sure how we were going to survive without him, but as you'll soon see, we did pretty good, which is why we have been in the midst of re-signing contracts for people who deserve it. Let's take a look at it here. You can see most of these contracts have been re-upped for 1 or 2 years. Everybody getting roughly what they deserve. Some pay cuts. Elliot Morris taking a decent pay cut, actually, which is good. He's on the tail end of his career. Him taking a pay cut helps us out big time. Saves up some payroll to get some of the other people on the squad well-deserved raises. The likes of Callum Burney and Johnny Addis getting a little bump in their pay. Danny Hughes still sitting at 1,100. Curtis Allen, you can believe it, actually came down to around 1,000, which is a bit strange that you would give your top scorer a pay cut. But considering that we are still in dire financial straits, it was a necessary move and one that I am very glad to see happen. The only one that hasn't been able to re-sign is Francis McCaffrey, because he is still, for some reason, cheesed that I tried to move him at the beginning of the season, the very beginning of the season, and still refuses to talk to me. So, not that he's holding a grudge. On the B side, it's pretty much what you would expect here. Some people being re-upped here. If we look at removing the people who have who are on the reserve team simply by needing fitness. Stephen Hughes gone. Aaron Hogue gone. Francis McCaffrey will be gone. Danny Haggerty is currently on a non-contract and doesn't look like he's going to hit his potential, which is unfortunate, but really no big shock there. Johnny Lafferty, definitely gone. No real point in keeping him around as a 2-star target man. Danny McKee, however, is an interesting case. As you'll see, once we get through to these results here, we had a deeper injury crisis than we see currently. Only the 2 injuries to Allen and Henderson to worry about. McKee actually had to be brought up because Lennon was down. So with no other strikers on the squad, it was up to Danny Hughes and Jordan Stewart, backed up by Danny McKee, and he's making it really tough for me to go back to Ronan Lennon. Lennon only just off injuries. I'm not going to rush him back in. But McKee is actually performing quite well, and I'll show you that. He's making a good case for himself. He may actually get himself a contract if he keeps this up, but for now, he will stay with the squad. Other contracts to talk about here, staff contracts. Every staff contract expired in this year, so I've been choice renewals here to get those that I want back in the fold. Some will be cut. Obviously, my U18 head coach, Simon Smith, I think we can do better. I think we can get better. Certainly at that salary we can do better. Spike Hill re-signed, Tiernan Lynch re-signed, which is good. The general manager has said he will retire, so excellent. I don't need to waste that $600 a week on his salary. B-team staff are currently over the board's requirements, so they will be just let go. No real worries there. Our head physio will be retiring, which is unfortunate, but that means I can promote Jonathan Cummins to head physio. That is fine by me. And then, of course, we have our scouts. Yep, I brought them in, and they're staying. Andrew Hayes kind of took me to the cleaners here, giving himself, or negotiating himself, I should say, a fat raise. So that's going to cut into the staff budget a bit. But we do have 2 scouts, we do have 2 physio, or we will have 2 physio once I hire one to replace McGill. I am happy with that all around. On the competition side, we have gotten an excellent draw here in the second round, or for the 6th round, our second round of the IFA Challenge Cup. The Police Service of Northern Ireland. Oh boy, chalk that one in the win column. little backstory here. When I played in lower league England in previous versions of Football Manager, I always hoped that Met Police would get themselves out of the lower divisions and come up to second level so that I could try and play against the Metropolitan Police Service of London. But sadly, that did not happen. So this is sort of a de facto way of living the dream. Very excited about that. But let's get to the matches in League. We had a bit of congestion here after our featured match last episode against Linfield. And all things considered, we did pretty darn good with that match congestion. We've gone undefeated since the Linfield match, taking us to a total streak of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 matches undefeated across all competitions, 7 in the league. Very excited with that. We start things off with a 2-0 win at home over Larn FC. They currently at the bottom of the table. This is the match that we lost Curtis Allen in. He did score, thank goodness, but this is where I began to hold my breath and go, oh dear, now what? As you can see, though, we just absolutely took the game to Larn, 21 shots to 7, solidly in possession. Let's take a look at the goals. Of course, for those of you watching this live on twitch.tv/Rituro, hello to all of you out there, including Ashley ITFC. Good to see you again, Ashley. Thanks for dropping by. We start things off here in the 4th minute of play. Curtis Allen nicks the ball back. Nice little setup here to Kim Nelson, to Colm Bell. I'll tell you that Bell-Nelson duo has been fantastic at the attacking mid position. Lennon in between the defense there, takes a touch, makes no mistake, opens the scoring in front of the crowd at the Oval. They love it despite the snow and rain. 1-0 to the home side. And then in the 34th minute, they are back at it. It would be a 35th minute goal for Curtis Allen once they get possession of the ball. Elliot Morris actually starts this move from all the way in his goalkeeping area. Ball forward to Johnny Addis, lays it off to Kane. Marcus Kane to Declan Cadell. Colm Bell, Kim Nelson, long ball to Allen. Beautiful long ball by Kim Nelson. Allen with an even better finish in the upper 90. 2-0 is the score and 2-0 is the final. Great start to this block of matches, especially, as I say, a heavily congested schedule here for Glentoran. So good to see them get off to a winning start against a team they should be taking points off of. Continuing on. A mere 2 days later, they got a 1-1 draw away to Warren Point, which is a fantastic result on 2 days rest. They did have to get a little bit of luck, though, and if you look at this, Liam Bagnall sent off in the 9th minute for a red card. Richard Valls was injured in the 69th. They were playing with 9 men, and it only ended 1-1. Shots were 17-4. Only ended 1-1. So it's nice always to get a draw away from home. That we only managed to get a draw with a 2-man advantage is unacceptable. Very upset with that. Let's take a look at the 2 goals here and see how we did on the scoring front. Corner here from Bagnall is put up, and a little one-time touch there, first-time volley. And now you have to remember that this is perhaps, from my recollection, this is perhaps the only goal that has been scored from a corner since we modified our set pieces against Linfield here in the last episode. So I'm very happy with how we've been defending against set pieces. And as you can see here, this little goal here right off the halftime kickoff is wonderful. Hughes to Lennon to McCaffrey, who doesn't even wait, hammers it into the back of the net. There's your equalizer. Now you'd think with 45 minutes to work with, they'd manage to find a winner. They sadly could not with 66% possession and 17 shots, which again is just not something you want to see. Not happy with that, but it's still a point, and a point's a point is a point. A mere 3 days after that, a 0-0 draw against Glenavon. Away, again, not too bad. However, it could have been 1-0. Colm Bell could not keep his nerve. Missed a penalty in the 50th minute that would have won it for us. Sadly, we have to settle for the draw. Would have loved the 3 points there. We then go to Dundela, another team at the bottom of the table. A 5-1 curb stomping. An emphatic win away from the Oval. Goals from Jordan Stewart, Francis McCaffrey, Kim Nelson, and Daniel Hughes with a brace as he finally starts picking up the slack left by the injured Curtis Allen. Again, shots a little bit closer here, 15-8. Dundela putting up a bit more of a fight here at the snowy grounds. But it was still not to be. Things started off great. An injured Ronan Lennon chips the ball to Jordan Stewart, uses his head to put that in the back of the net. That ends his goal-scoring drought, and none too soon. 1-0 Glentoran. Moving ahead now to the 25th minute, Jordan Stewart with the ball on his feet again. Has it taken off briefly, but does get the ball over to Kim Nelson. McCaffrey to McGuigan. To Nelson. McCaffrey. McGuigan. McCaffrey. This is the kind of possession that I love to see. Just drawing the defense over, getting them out of position, finding that next ball, and then making a great movement. McCraner actually playing in that D-mid role here due to suspensions and fitness, and Jetta's rotating squad. McCaffrey with a hopeful shot there from the top of the box, tries his luck, and why not? 2 goals in 2 matches for McCaffrey, who is making a name for himself to be put in the midfield more often, as he takes the place of Colm Bell for this match. However, off the ensuing kickoff, another goal was soon in the offing. Dundela in possession now as Hanley goes forward. Nice ball for Jones. Goes back to Hanley with a nice cross for McClelland, who is unmarked. Bit of an asleep at the post moment there for the defense. No one thinks to pick up McClelland, and he bangs home a goal, and it's only 2-1. Then Kim Nelson floats this beautiful looking free kick. The keeper really should have had that one on the replay. Sort of lets it go between his hands, but regardless, it's 3-1. And at that point, I mean, it's pretty much over, but if you think we're done, oh no, we are off to the races. We gotta pad this goal differential. Kim Nelson doing what he does best all season long, directing traffic from that midfield position. Finds Jordan Stewart, back to McCallum. Parr clears it, and McClelland does make things look interesting for just a moment. But Nelson is there to take the ball back and get it to Jack McCraner, who goes long, very long. Stewart can't quite get there, but he does pressure O'Neill into this horrid back pass, which Daniel Hughes takes as a gift and buries. Thank you very much. 4-1 Glentoran. A very poor back pass. O'Neill's going to have nightmares about that one. But Hughes wasn't done. He'd get his second. Hughes to Bell. Now, it is somewhat troubling that Hughes is only getting goals when they really don't matter, but really, as long as his goal-scoring tally goes up, I don't think anybody will complain, as he justifies that $1,100 a week salary. Top on the team. Bell to Hughes. Steps past one man, has a shot, goes through the keeper. Take him how you get him, Daniel Hughes. 5-1 Glentoran. And that's how this delightful match silenced the crowd. Absolutely dominant match. Love to see it. They would follow that up with a match in the IFA Challenge Cup, a 1-0 win at home to Warrenpoint Town. Again, after that 1-1 draw, you'd know they'd want to do better. They still only managed 1 goal, but thankfully they managed to keep the one out of the back of their own net. 1-0 with a goal from Daniel Hughes. Now he's scoring goals that matter in the 44th minute. Again, possession and shots all in our favor, just not able to break down that Warrenpoint defense, which is somewhat concerning should we have to meet them later. But with any luck, once the split happens, we will never have to see them again. Cadell off the restart goes short to Nelson. Kim Nelson back to Callum Burney. McCraner. As this is while McCaffrey is off the sideline injured here. Danny McKee sets up Daniel Hughes. McKee's first match after being called up from the B squad. He sets up the winner from Hughes. That's not a bad way to introduce yourself to the fans at the Oval, setting up the goal that would end up winning the match. And as I mentioned before, we move on to face the Police Service of Northern Ireland. And then this match against Ballinamallard, a top team on the table. I went to the 5-2-3, which is the formation I'll be using against Ballinamallard later for our featured match. A 3-0 win is absolutely stellar. Did not see this coming, but the defense did their part and the forwards did the rest. Jordan Stewart and Danny McKee, two of the 3 forwards in the 5-2-3 setup, getting the goals. McKee with a brace. So you gotta know, in front of the home crowd, you do that kind of scoring record against the top team, you're gonna get noticed and you're gonna make it very easy for me to put you back in the lineup. I think it's the dilemma a manager loves to have. Which of my young forwards with awesome scoring potential do I put in? Oh darn. We start things off here in the 11th minute. Colm Bell to McKee to Hughes. Hughes posts up, waits for McKee, who finds Stewart, checks his run. The first shot is saved by Cairns, and the ball is cleared. Only as far as McGuigan, though. who goes long again for Hughes, who stays onside off the bar, and Stewart cleans up the rebound. 1-0, and we're already off and running at the Oval. The fans love it. It would end up being the winning goal, but you don't really want to win 1-0 against Ballymena. You want to pad that lead, and pad it they would. McAllerum from the midfield. He and Bell running the two-man midfield quite well in this game. Hughes back to Bell. McKee, Stewart, McKee from outside the area laces a lovely shot, upper 90 past the diving keeper. His second goal of the season. He hasn't been seen since the start of the season, and I was trying to figure this squad out. But he's back on his scoring track right now. McGuigan to Hughes, to Bell, to McKee, and there's his second. It's a lovely shot. Again, under the bar, making that finishing count. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we stand right now. We now go into this match against Ballinamallard. Again, a win here would help us catch them. We would still be 2 points off the pace, but it would put a little more space between us and Dungannon, which is always good. One little transfer to point out here. I'm trying to pick up David Toner here before the transfer window closes. He is a young prospect over at Crusaders. Looks very good. And having a young defensive prospect to sit in behind Gareth McCown in the pecking order, maybe even supplant him, would be lovely. Scouting says he's worth it. So I'm going to take them at their word and make a move for him as we prepare for this match against Ballinamallard. They are playing a very high 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1, whatever you want to call it. The point is I need to play 5-2-3 to counter that. Going with more or less the same, in fact, I believe that is exactly the same lineup that faced off against Ballymena and came in with a hope and exited with a win. So we're going to do that exact same setup and see what happens. Twitch chat saying the first goal looked offside. Well, maybe. Maybe it did, but who can say, really? The game didn't call it. I'm going to say it didn't happen. They're actually giving us a odds-on favorite here, so we will see. Absence of Davy Key will hit them hard. We can certainly hope so. Callum Burney. Oh, he's wonderful. Yeah. All right. Good. I tell you, my assistant coach has been excellent in picking up players recently. Haven't had much to say in that respect. Come on, guys. Go out there and keep this thing going. The trio of Hughes, McKee, and Stewart, not the one that you'd think would help with a 3-0 result. But they did good last game. Let's see if they can do it again at the Oval. Ballinamallard in their blue, Glentoran in their green and black with the red sleeves. I have to assume that Ballinamallard at some point got their name because a duck ate a ball. I mean, ball in a mallard. How do you... I mean, that's too perfect. That's too wonderful. So, the duck ate our ball. What do? I don't know. Let's name our team after them. Meanwhile, Jason McCartney gets the game off onto a great start here. 4th minute. It's already 1-0. That's not good. Rooney with the cross. McCartney gets in between Addison Kane. Guys, what are you doing on the left side there? That's not good. Let's see if we can get that one back here. Kane to McAllerum. Bell. McKee. Kane. To McAllerum. Bell. McKee has the ball taken off him. And it goes the other way. However, Burney is there to hump it right back upfield. It's shot down, though, by the Ballinamallard defense, and Martin will go the other way. Out wide to Rooney. Rooney holds on the left side, looking for options in the middle. Being chased there. It goes with a low cross, and Morris actually fumbles the ball and can only push it out of play for a corner. McCartney with the corner. That's a much better defense there from the back line. As I was showing in the recap of matches, there only that one goal scored from a set piece by the opposition since updating our set piece defense. Very happy with the updates there. Also made some modifications to our free kick taking. Trying to change our options here. See if we can look at more for, instead of trying to rifle it in first time, playing for that header. Putting in someone to stand with the taker, maybe to throw off the wall. Just trying to do something better, because right now all we're doing is taking shots direct, and it's so rarely working. I mean, we're not even hitting the target most times, so we need to do something other than this. And I would like to see it maybe a header. More than a few headers. I mean, Bernie can. Addis is listed as a striker, for goodness sake, so why not try and find him? Meanwhile, it is Ballinamallard now with the ball. Elding to McCartney. That's got to be offside, and sure enough, the AR is flagging. Yeah, it's definitely offside. Offside by a fair bit here. Let's show the replay. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, it was close. It was very close, actually. McCown was in line with him. That actually, you know what? That goal should have counted. That should have counted. The AR does us a solid there. Ooh. That should have counted. If it were the other way around, I would be screaming bloody murder that that goal should have counted. So I have to be fair and say that it should be 2-0 or 2-0 right now. But it isn't, and we live with that. Hughes. As rain comes down now at the Oval. McGuigan. Bell. Looks for Stewart. Finds him. McKee. Hughes. Oh, just over from Hughes. We've yet to hit the target in this match, which worries me. McCown. Stewart. Steps in there. No one's challenging him. Hughes' shot is deflected out. Really, Stewart should have taken the shot there. Stewart with the corner. Low. For Bell, his shot is blocked. Back to Stewart. Pumps another corner in. Addis hits the bar. It's still loose. Eldon clears it up for another corner. Oh, Addis got there and put it off the woodwork. Not good. McKee with a very rash challenge there. He's lucky he didn't get a card for that. Alrighty. What are we gonna do here, guys? Assertive. Come on. I expect to see. Come on, guys. Get out there and win this thing. Don't make me get angrier. You won't like me when I'm angrier. Actually, you probably will. I've been told I'm a fairly decent fellow. Anyway, McGuigan starts things off with a long ball, looking for Hughes. Can't find him. And when he does get the ball, he's offside. Lovely. Shots are currently 9-7 in favor of Glentoran. We've yet to register one on the target. As McCallum gets himself a yellow. Par for the course. Morris now restarting with a goal kick. Possession is even. Passing is below our standard here at 71%. We've attempted 311, which is about right. Hughes. Got some space here. There's a shot on target. It's not going to challenge the keeper, but at least it's on target, and it counts as a clear-cut chance. Lovely. Yeah, Addis is not doing well here. Bernie clears it. Head into the middle, actually. Hughes. Hughes and Stewart could do something here with this. Stewart inside to Hughes. Shoots over the bar. That's not how we win games, gentlemen. Alright. I think we gotta be drastic here. Normally, I would want to switch away from the 5-2-3 in this kind of match, but it's just not working for us. We gotta go 4-4-2. Alright, and who's my least performing striker? It's McKee, so Bell can sit in that role. McCallum. Actually, here's what we're gonna do. McGuigan can sit in the D-mid role. We need Nelson. That's a given. And we'll go like this. We'll see if that gets Addis back onto his game. If not, we'll bring on Ewell and we'll push McCown into the midfield. For now, we will see how that goes. I also have McCrania that I can bring on in case McGuigan flames out. Alrighty. Boys, I need you to up the tempo. Get out there, Kim Nelson. Boss that midfield like you so like to do. Meanwhile, McKee goes and kicks the guy's shins out just as well that I'm pulling him off the field. And there we are. Now, does the four-man backline suddenly hurt me? Whew, nearly. Very nearly hurt me. Oh, boy. Mooney down a foot race here. And he's going to beat Addis to the ball, but he can't find the net. Alright, we can't afford to go... Yeah, Addis is getting worse. So that means Ewell comes in. And I'll probably bring in McCraner for McEllorum, because I do not want to go down to 10 men at this point in the match. Alright, guys. Saved by Morris of a direct free kick. Unfortunately, nobody thinks to mark McCartney. And it's 2-0. Not good. Again, this is a team that we are chasing in the standings here, in the table. And suddenly it looks like our wild winning streak is about to come crashing down around us. Show some passion. I feel like I should have given that pep talk about 20 minutes ago. See, there's your Stewart with the corner. We need a miracle here. We need 2 goals in less than a minute. As Nelson puts the ball into the area, Kanders heads that clear. Good defense there from Ballinamallard. McGuigan to Ewell. Bell, Nelson, McCraner. Possession actually not too bad here in the confines of the middle of the park. However, it is finally cleared. And that's the match. Not good at all. Not good. Not happy. Not happy. And not happy. All in around, not good. Of course, Dungannon has to go and win 2-0 over Warren Point to draw level with us on points. Thankfully, our goal differential, the saving grace, keeping us in 6th. That's going to do it for this episode of Mr. Unemployable. Next time, we continue with our campaign to secure a place in the top 6 before the league splits at 33 games. 33 games at the split, which means we are 7 games away from the split. Can we stay in 6th? Can we go further in the Challenge Cup with the Police Service of Northern Ireland coming up next? And, of course, the 2-legged fixture against Derry City for the All-Ireland Cup. Should be a good one. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. My name is Rituro. If you like what you've seen, please be sure to share, follow, like, comment, subscribe, either on youtube.ca/steelswords, where all these videos are hosted, or here on Twitch, twitch.tv/Rituro. Of course, you can reach out to me on Twitter at @ThatRituroGuy. Once again, my name is Rituro. You can just call me Mr. Unemployable. Thank you for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.